Welcome to my LGBT lesbian channel. The series Checkmate, Stripper and Dance for Me are voiced for you in full history. Thank you for your comments, reactions and subscription to my channel. Have a nice day everyone. Camilla Collins' point of view. The sound of our high heels echoed through the empty corridors of that warehouse. I walked ahead, having Normani and Dinah following right behind. One of the men accompanied us to provide the services requested by us. I stared at both women as soon as we stopped before a thick metal door. They nodded briefly, and then I looked at the man. "You can open it," I ordered. "Yes, ma'am." The man approached the door, grabbing the ring of keys from his pocket, and quickly took care of unlocking the door, which creaked as it was being pushed slowly by me. "You can go for a walk. We'll call you if we need," I murmured at the man who alternated his gaze before the three women in front of him. "As you wish," he said before leaving. Dinah entered the dark room, followed by Normani and then by me. The blonde was incredibly beautiful for that situation, as if for my best friend that plan was also an act to be celebrated and reveled in the best possible way. She gestured with her index finger amid the penumbra of the place, signaling that we should be silent. I nodded slowly and walked to the center of the room. Normani approached the wall, next to a control box. The woman opened the lid and delicately turned the switch, turning on the spotlight on the man's body tied to an iron chair in the center of that cold room. Hyder. The blonde was properly tied with his hands behind him, having his eyes blindfolded with a piece of black cloth. Maybe he was unconscious because his body hung forward. A victorious and satisfied smile flourished in my lips in the exact moment that I had that image in front of me. I walked slowly, letting the sound of my heels be the only sound effect of that place. "Let's wake him now," Dinah exclaimed. She and Normani would be the only ones talking in that moment. I just watched the show like a perfect spectator watched her favorite TV show. I couldn't afford to participate, even if that's what I most wanted. So I pulled another chair, putting it in front of his, a few meters away. I sat down on it and crossed my legs gently while resting my golden gun on my lap. "It's time to wake up, honey," Dinah uttered sarcastically as she pulled Hyder's blonde hair. "It's time to talk." As soon as Dinah's hands left the man's light tresses, his head lolled forward, still unconscious. Normani casted me an intense look, then walked to the other side of the room, perhaps a bathroom. I allowed myself to analyze the body of the man in front of me. He's been there for a few days now, more precisely from the moment I left Switzerland accompanied by Lauren. "The bastard is completely knocked out," Dinah grumbled as she gave some small slaps on the man's face. "A bad villain, Dinah," I whispered, making her gesture again for me to be silent. Before I could mutter in protest, Normani approached quickly and poured a bucket of cold water on Hyder's head, who awoke in desperation amid a coughing fit. "Wake up, damn it," Normani exclaimed in a stern order, making a satisfied smile appear on my lips. "Playtime is over." Dinah looked at her wide-eyed, and Normani threw her a little kiss in the air. I pointed to Normani and nodded as if to say, "That's how it's done." Dinah just shook her head and approached Hyder. "We are your hell," Dinah whispered close to the man's ear, who moved his head from side to side. "What do you want from me? Let me out of here," he exclaimed desperately. "I can give you all my money." Dinah laughed as she walked around the chair where the man was. Her laugh sounded loudly, almost diabolical. I just smiled at the scene. That whole situation was at least fascinating. What money, Hyder? You don't have absolutely anything. I have some savings, please. Your savings are of no use to Mel. Don't be ridiculous. Don't kill me, please. Don't kill me, he cried out, making me laugh. Dinah approached the man again and gripped his wet hair, arching his head back. She had a silver pocket knife in her hand, which slid gently down the skin of Hyder's neck, just so he could feel what he could expect. Are you afraid of death? It can be your best option. God. Do you feel powerful now, Hyder? You and Christopher always thought you were the kings of the world. Until he tricked you. The man's chest rose and fell in a heavy and nervous breathing. Who are you? What do you want from me? Well, Dinah slid the tip of the pocket knife on the man's cheekbone. You can be obedient and accept the proposal I have for you, or you can choose how you want to die. What proposal? Looked at Normani and soon after at Dinah, who took a deep breath and continued to speak. I want you to hand me over the documents of Charlie Cooper's company, all the documents that proved the bankruptcy. I don't have any of that. I don't know what you're talking about. He denied quickly. You have the courage to lie to me? I know that you know what I'm talking about. Don't play with me. Or I'll kill you, she exclaimed angrily. Hyder let a laugh escape from his lips. His sarcastic tone filled my chest with grudge. I held my gun tightly, pressing my fingers around the heavy object. Kill me? A woman killing me? He laughed. I got up from my chair in one swift act, and with all the rage and adrenaline that ran through my veins, I hit the man's head. With the butt of my gun, making his body fall to the ground. And as if it wasn't enough, I fired 2 shots against the nearest wall, making him scream. What did you say, Hyder? Dinah asked provocatively, while Normani held me. I say whatever you want, please don't kill me. You and that bastard sunk that company, didn't you? You stole everything. Hyder was still lying on the floor, tied to the iron chair. It was Christopher's ideal. He's the one who embezzled the money. He's the one who stayed with all the shares. You helped. You're as guilty as he is. The blonde shouted fiercely and hit the man's stomach with a nice and strong kick. I didn't want the situation to get where it got. I only thought about the money. You piece of shit. Calm down, Normani whispered when she approached Dinah. I want the fucking documents. They were forged. The company went bankrupt due to the embezzlements. Charlie signed a contract of a society with me. And with Christopher to keep Cooper Enterprise, but he found out. He lost everything because of you twall, Dinah exclaimed as she pulled the man's body, sitting him again. I already told you, I didn't think that it was that much. What happened wasn't my fault. It was them. I closed my eyes for a few seconds, feeling a strong grip on my chest. I let out a sigh and looked at him again. Right, I want all those documents, I want everything you have, and if you do it, I'll let you go somewhere else. I just want you to disappear. How can I be sure that you won't keep me prisoner? If you won't kill me? You don't have to be sure, you have to do what I tell you. She inched closer to his face and whispered, I'll give you a good sum of money for you to hide in the core of the earth if necessary, but I want absolutely everything about Christopher Collins. Okay, I have the documents stored. He thinks I threw away the originals, but I hid them all. Maybe I have something much better for you. If you help me, I guarantee that you won't regret it. The blonde walked slowly, making the sound of her heels echo in that partially empty room. I can be very good with who collaborates. But if I know that you're lying, I'll find you even in hell if need be, but I'll end your life." He lowered his head and shook it from side to side. "I want you to hand me over everything, and when you do it I'll let you go. But you need to get out of here, because you will have not only one, but 3 sides to run from. It will be Christopher, the cops and me." "Who are you? I know that there are more people here, I can feel it." "It's none of your business. Take care of thinking about everything you have. I'm going to deal with other things, but I'll be back later to continue our conversation." I got up from that chair, staring at Hyder's bound and completely dirty body. I felt a deep urge to unleash what I was feeling in that moment, but he wasn't the main focus. So I just walked towards the exit, being followed by Dinah and Normani. "You okay?" Normani asked both me and Dinah. I just nodded, and Dinah did the same. Even though I have prepared myself psychologically for all that, certain things still left me incredibly shaken, but I was strong enough to overcome them. "Camilla," Lauren's voice echoed loudly down the corridor after a strong pounding on the iron door. My whole body shuddered in pure fright with the idea of her discovering me. I stared at both women in front of me with wide eyes, and then took a deep breath, trying to calm down. "Where is Camilla? You assholes! I'm gonna kill you!" Lauren screamed as she pounded the iron door, causing a terrible noise in the warehouse. One of the men soon entered my line of sight, walking towards the room where Lauren was. As soon as he noticed my presence, he took a few steps back. Scared, I changed my expression, now serious, and walked towards him. "Call 2 more men and get in there. I want her unconscious." "Yes, ma'am." "And pay close attention to how you're going to do it, okay? If I see even a little scratch in that woman, you'll have to deal with me," I let out in a threatening tone, even knowing that Dinah and Normani were right next to me. He nodded. "Don't forget about Christopher, I want him knocked out too. Both of them." "Leave it to me, ma'am." He spoke before leaving. "Oh my God, just tell me where she is. You pieces of shit. What do you want?" She pounded on the door angrily, as if she wanted at all costs to find me. Deep down I felt extremely guilty for deceiving her in such a way, but there was nothing I could do. Everything there was thoroughly planned to happen, and I couldn't change anything, not until the end of the game. Shit. Oh. If you like that I voiced the continuation of the series Stripper and want me to continue, please like and write a comment on the video. This will be an incentive to continue working on translation and dubbing.